What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. Today's video, we're gonna discuss kind of the big topic right now about unemployment that's going on. We're seeing a lot of those numbers popping up, and um, based on my last video that I did on Monday, the 30-year Treasury bond has barely ticked up to 4.9. I think it's been hovering around that, like you guys have seen, that 4.7 to like 5.05 range for the last several weeks to months, right? Again, this is not a fast moving um, chart, right? If you expect this to um, go ahead and move quickly in a direction, you're sadly mistaken, right? This is slow playing. Um, and the reason why we monitor this is because the housing market um, probably relies on the data that comes from the bond markets, right? A lot of people look at the 10-year and the 30-year. There's different reasons why you would look at uh, different notes versus bonds versus T-bills. They all serve like different purposes, um, and people use them for a variety of indicators. The reason I look at the 30-year is to see, well, what's our long-term debt borrowing costs looking like, right? Um, and in a sense, you are trying to figure out where um, you know the cost of housing is going to go. And right now, currently, a lot of people, let me put it this way, it takes a lot longer than people anticipate. Um, Things are going to change, right? When you see all these borrowing costs going up, but then it happens a lot faster than people could have thought it would have happened. So in the sense, like everyone's clamoring for, oh, it's we're spending like a drunken sailor, which is true, right? We're not managing our budgets accordingly. It's a very true statement. However, the resiliency of the system to be able, to be able to support um, all that exorbitant spending, right? Um, it takes a long time to play out. One thing that you can notice is housing, right? And before we keep moving on, let's see mortgage rates 6.5, right? This is the lowest we've seen it since, let's see, October of 2024. It's been a long time since we've seen it this low. It's gotten close, but not this low. So it's definitely been uh, almost a year. It's taken 11 months. But do you think people are still buying homes? Are people out there? Is the market insanely, bullish? Is there a lot of people crowding to try to get into a home? Not quite. Not quite. Actually, to the contrary, I've seen a lot of price cuts. I recently just saw a 10% price cut off a home. They did a $50,000 price cut. It was actually like 9%, but so what you're seeing is we're seeing chunks, right, being taken off of these homes because no one's buying it. Now there was a lot of agents that were telling people, um, "Oh, you better get in before they start the rate cuts. Otherwise, it's gonna be, good luck trying to get into a house. You're gonna start getting into a bidding war with other people." What bidding wars are we seeing? I think right now the last thing you're seeing is the bidding wars. There's this summer was the transition summer, where sellers were gonna be faced with the reality that their homes were not selling, and if they didn't sell now, the price that they're gonna try to attempt to sell at next year will be a lot lower than it is now. So if they had an offer that was lower than what they wanted, well, they won't be happy with the offers they'll be getting next year. And in part is what is the employment data telling us? So U.S. job cut announcements are up 66% over last year, and this is for the month of August. So we're seeing job cuts in the month of August are nearing around, if I'm reading this correctly, 900,000 in the month of August. And obviously it's lower for July, right? But if you see 2019, 2023, and 2024, they all seem to be hovering much lower. So, what is this telling you? If you've been paying attention to the job numbers, there is, I believe the JOLTS job numbers were 0.99 job openings for every person. So what that means is there's more people applying to that one job than there's jobs available, right? So for every one person that applies, there's 0.99 job openings, which obviously that doesn't make sense, but when you're taking the average of it all, right, that is just indicating that there's less jobs available per person that applies. So I think a lot of people, they're concerned. What's going to happen with my job? Will I be able to keep my job? I don't know. There's a lot of layoffs going on. And what happens if I lose my job? Well, then I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm going to have a really high mortgage payment, because that will just put me in a worse situation. And so right now, it's not about mortgage rates like a lot of these real estate agents have been saying. It's prices are too high. And you got to be careful with these agents trying to sell you on something so they can make a quick buck. No, it shouldn't be that way. Agents that truly understand what's going on will be able to walk you through this and tell you what the state of the market is. But it takes a really good agent that understands the changing of the winds and what's happening, which a lot of them may not. So just be aware. And that's why I present this data, right? Because what I think is you're going to see, I do anticipate that this is going higher. When it breaks out and why is yet to be determined. But it's not if, it's when. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. It's the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.